Starting recording. Start recording. Brilliant. Thank you. Alrighty. Today there is no particular schedule, if you like. There's nothing, no PowerPoint, none of that. Instead, what we're going to do is I'm going to go and run through a little bit of Facebook advertising. Alrighty. Facebook is truly astounding, the stuff you can get from there. So on the surface, it looks easy, but when you actually go in, it's quite complicated, and that's why we'll just do a little one. It's not going to be an hour and a half or something. We're just going to dive in. I'll show you what we're doing at the moment. I'll share with you some insights. You can ask questions. If you have insights, I always appreciate it. If if you've got anything where you think, yeah, you could do that. Oh, and you can't see my screen, I guess. Or can you see my screen? Can you tell me? I just started recording saying show my screen. Oh no, I think I need to press the show my screen button, right? No screen. All right. There you go. Actually, in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to share good old Google Chrome. There you go. That's not so big then. And my blah blah. Yes, yes, yes. I've got that delightful little jing thing sitting at the top of my screen. And therefore, GoToWebinar gets all confused. It thinks it's recording the wrong thing. So now you should be able to see the Facebook Power Editor. Can you tell me if you can see it? Yes, brilliant. Okay. So the first thing is, all right, maybe bigger picture. We tried a couple of things. The first one is we send some traffic to a campaign, Mind Valley, or run by Mind Valley. It's ARM, Autoresponder Madness. Highly recommended. You go check out that course. It's a really good program by Andre Chaperon. It's on email marketing. And they have it. He moved over to Mind Valley. So we did some direct linking to the offer, which we later found out is against the terms of service of Mind Valley. Okay, fair enough. So we're not doing that anymore. But this is the first example of how things go wrong. You think it should be so easy, all right? You go and you fire up a few ads on Facebook, or in your Power Editor, you then go and put in your affiliate link, and it is as simple as this here. Right? Okay, we've got a campaign here. It's Mind Valley ARM1. I went on ads, created ads here, all the different ads. The red ones are the ones that are not allowed. Actually, these are quite funny. Let me see if I can find some for you. Not sure why that got disallowed. Not sure about this one. Alrighty, some of them got disallowed. So in case you're new to Facebook advertising, you basically, in Power Editor, you create your ads, and then once you've modified them, you click on upload. They all got uploaded to Facebook, and then someone at Facebook looks at them and decides whether they are conforming with their terms of service, all that kind of thing. And I had a couple, and let me see if I can find you an example to show. That was actually quite hilarious. No. So basically, all I did was take a couple of pictures of Andre, and put some frames around it. So this is not it, not it, not it. Okay, we made the other one. Let's have a look if I can find it. Basically, what happened is there was a couple of pictures where I had a question mark on the actual image, and then the reviewer at Facebook decided, well, that is clearly simulating a play button, and therefore it should be disallowed. Now I was just sitting here, it's like, yeah, when's the last time you've seen a play button on a video? But there you go. Alrighty, I obviously deleted it, therefore you can't see it anymore. But it goes to show that, okay, first learning then is, with Facebook advertising, you're at the mercy of the people who review it. If they're in a bad mood, they can pretty much disallow anything. Okay, and that's the way it is. So one thing we found is that when you submit in the middle of the night, US time, basically the time when the Indian reviewers are doing their work, they're a little bit more lenient. So if you go and, for me it's easy. I do this stuff, when I get up, 9 o'clock in the morning, that is whatever, it's midnight in the US, and therefore the US team is not online, but the Indian team is online, and they're a little bit more lenient. So that's the first thing. So now we have a look at what the comments say here. Come on. Yeah, dog once declined. Yes, okay, it is sometimes totally crazy. Another one, let me see if I can I still have it here. Lisa, alrighty. So Lisa, as you can see here, totally wasn't. Lisa Sasovich is. Oh, by the way, this is something I'm attending. I'm so excited. It's in the personal development world, and she's basically showing you how to do, reach out, reach the world, and make it a better place, which is cool. Incidentally, if you haven't seen the case study I did, I basically dissected her sales letter, which is beautiful. It's really beautifully done. Make sure you go check that out. Anyway, so I promoted hers again during direct. Oh, actually, this is indirect linking. Okay, because I did buy a domain and then did a redirect to her stuff. Got all declined because of the network marketing nature of her program, which is like complete nonsense. There is absolutely no network marketing going on. Lisa Sasovich is selling her own thing, but we could argue that basically she is leading a lifestyle of abundance, and she's now teaching you how to do that too. So therefore, it's network marketing. There you go. So all in all, essence is you cannot tell with Facebook whether they're going to accept it or not. It is what it is. Now, all right, let's look at something more concrete then. As you can see, I've got 12 campaigns in here. And right, so Pat just said, we had dog once declined. Pat, what's your first thought when you see 12 ads in one campaign? Any idea what I'm aiming for here? All right, I'm not getting any testing. Yes, okay, I'm testing, exactly. So we all know we should be testing, and I test. This is basically it. Testing is so boring because you have to scratch your head and come up with all these different ideas. But it truly is the foundation of success. I am in some niches, I am totally blind to what is really going on. I have absolutely no idea. I can do my market research, I can do service, I can talk to people, but at the end of the day, I simply have no idea. But with testing, although I have no idea what's going on, I can, over time, figure out what resonates with an audience or not. And if that sounds theoretical, this should be a major, not only aha moment, but also a weight off your shoulders. If you can't make something work at the moment because you've tried one or two or three different things and the response was, well, no, we're not interested, that's okay. It's perfectly okay. You just need to do more tests, and you will find something. It is as crazy as it sounds, but you can any market where you can find buyers, people who part with money in exchange for something of value, you can over time figure out what that thing is. And that is awesome. That is absolutely, it's the best thing in the world because, especially with Facebook, it's so incredibly cheap. Art says people don't know why they do what they do. It's mostly subconscious. Hang on, I've got something here. Fran is saying, no audio. Are you recording this? So yes, I am recording, but does anyone else appear to have no audio problems? Can you hear me at the moment? Yes, okay, good. So, Fran, apparently, well, obviously you can't hear me. Ha, there you go. Okay, so anyway, split testing is awesome. Here's a bit of a problem. Facebook's split testing algorithm is absolutely rubbish. So when you put, it's not actually split testing, and this is probably the biggest takeaway for today. When you look at this year, you've got 12. And we've done this over many, many different campaigns. This is just a small subsection of the campaigns I've got. Typically what you do is if you haven't used Power Editor, you do your campaigns, you upload them to Facebook, alrighty? And then if in Facebook you change them or you delete some stuff when you download it, when you click download, it deletes everything in here and then pulls down what's on Facebook. So this is a snapshot of what's on Facebook unless you've changed something here. Meaning if you go into Facebook and delete stuff, it gets deleted here. All right, that's just a very important thing. In the beginning, you go, oh yeah, upload, download, boom. It's like, no, all my work's gone. Anyway, back to Facebook split testing. Their split testing algorithm is absolutely rubbish, and they only send traffic to really between 3 and 5 of your ads, and the rest gets nothing. So when you set up a campaign, make sure you go at most 3 to 5 different ads. Anything beyond that is not meaningful. Even when you put the 3 to 5 in there, you typically find one which gets a ton of views. And then, on average, if they're sort of converting at the same rate, it also gets a lot more clicks. And you might think, wow, that's pretty awesome. I've got a winner here. Not necessarily. You may just have one of those random Facebook flukes, because if you look at the overall click-through rate, that's a totally different thing. Okay? So that's that in there at most 3 to 5. Now comes the more important stuff, and I have to figure out how best to do this. Actually, I'll just tell you what it is, okay? It's basically in the reporting, and now I have to admit I never do reporting in here. I always do it on the actual Facebook thing. So let's go to Facebook Ad Manager. Facebook Ads Manage buying. Oh yes, the internet is so incredibly fast. Alrighty. So here you go. These are the ones that are still live in here, and you saw them in Power Editor because at some point I did a download. Now I want to go to my reports, and what you see in here is old reports. Okay, these are super powerful, and this is now, I guess, the big insight we had, and also it's a takeaway you can use to go and do something useful with all your stuff. So here's an old report, and I want to have, where is my, hang on one second, I'm going to make that bigger so we can see the whole screen. Oh, go away. Last 30 days. No, that's not enough for this one. I don't think. Well, let's see if it. I just want to quickly see if that's a campaign where we see something useful. No, it's not. Obviously, so the date range. Yeah, it only takes the last 7 days. So let me see, last 28 days, if we can see something useful. Oh yeah, here, this is an example. Look, all these different ads here. So this is 2 different campaigns, ARM 1 and ARM 2. And in total, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 ads, maybe 9 really got traffic, okay? And that's it. So everything else is down at 0 or, well, at 14 views. That's nothing. So that's the example of what's going on there. However, when you look at the click-through numbers here, there's no direct correlation. So this guy has 2,000, this one has 7,000 views, 6,000, and the 6,000 is in ARM 1, this 7,000 is in ARM 2. So there's one giant winner in both of them, and then you've got those with a few thousand. But when you look at the click-through rate, this one has 0.1, this has 0.078, this one has 0.1, but far fewer views. And there's absolutely no reason. I mean, they have very similar CPCs, 11 cents, 10 cents for that big one there, 9 cents for this one, 11 cents again for that one. So there's absolutely no reason why they should be so different. So that's the illustration of Facebook's, split testing being a bit rubbish. All right, now the next thing I want to show you is no, sorry. Yeah, leave, blah blah. No, where's my? Basically, the one thing. Here we go. So summarize by campaign advertising. So in old reports, you get this page here. And you can look at advertising performance, which is what we just saw. If you look at responder demographics, okay, then we go by campaign, date range October 2, blah, 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 format, web page. Yes, I want to see that on the on this page. And what we see here is this. So what I did here was a campaign. Actually, let's just filter by campaign, and I want to use I believe it was these two. 22nd, no, a bit older. Yes, this is the one. Okay, so what I'd done in my ARM campaign, let me go to ARM and show you. Here we go. In audience, I'd gone for these countries: United States, New Zealand, Canada, Spain, United Kingdom, Argentina, Australia, France, and Germany. Sounds like a bit of a wild mix. Basically wanted to test where traffic is really coming from. And the thinking was, well, the US is pretty big, so I'll get significant amounts of traffic from the US. And New Zealand is tiny, 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 so very little traffic from there expected, while Canada, it is, in terms of land mass, is at least as big as the US. But you get the idea, okay? So we were thinking that Facebook would send traffic proportionate, or in proportion to the size of these countries, or not in the size of the country, but in proportion to how people use Facebook, I guess. And what we find here is, look at this here. Hang on, what happened to my... Here it is. Argentina sends 75% of all clicks, or all impressions, for Mind Valley ARM, and then Mind Valley ARM 1. Where is Mind Valley ARM 1? Here we go. Argentina sent 86% of all clicks, or of all views. That's the key thing. The reporting is absolutely rubbish. You can't, what I would love is send me the number of clicks sent from Argentina, but I haven't figured out how to do that. I don't think Facebook have figured it out. And if you know how to do it, please do let me know. Okay, at the moment, I don't know. But the key insight here is this. When you do your campaigns, by all means, go in and do something like this. Test all the countries you want to test, but you do that for half a day, or for a few bucks, and then you basically go in and you'll quickly find something like this here. Okay, Canada, 1% of all my impressions. There's no way Canada is that small. I mean, there's no way. There are no Canadians using, Germany, 0.7. You must be kidding me. I happen to know that people use Facebook in Germany. Why is Germany 0.7% and Spain 11%? There's absolutely no reason for it. So by all means, do a quick test to see if there's anything unusual. But the impression I'm getting is that basically Facebook is looking, haha, did Veit use a country where we can get really, really cheap impressions, and then we charge them 10 cents per click for those countries? So the feeling I'm getting is they want to get away with the cheapest way of using their, whatever they have. And if you are silly enough to type Argentina in here and you're not paying attention, then what you've got is, and I'm not going to even open the conversion tracking in the Mind Valley website, but basically I got tons of clicks from this campaign. Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of clicks, and no one bought. Well, now looking at this, I know why. Because, well, okay, Argentina it's not a third world country, but compared to different countries, compared to, like, for example, Canada, US, or Great Britain, it's probably not the ideal target audience for this kind of thing. So this is the big takeaway. And of course, you then go and break it down. You look at, okay, this now takes us to the next level, which is how do you actually design these things? When you set up a campaign, countries you pretty much have to separate, judging from what I'm seeing here. That's the first thing. The second one is gender and age. Alrighty, look at this here. I went, give me anyone from 25 to 100. Alrighty. So turns out that Facebook is sending me a lot of people between, for the males, between 25 and 44, and for the females between 35 and 54. So it's a little bit older demographic in terms of female. Okay, interesting. And then you basically run this campaign to find out where you've got the sweet spot, and then you set up separate campaigns just for that and just for that. Now I do an ad that is aimed specifically at men in this age range here, because I know that's where a lot of clicks came from. And that's it. And then later on, you can, if you want to, go in here and look at all the different cities or regions within a country and do specific campaigns. Hey, do you want to do whatever? Do you want to have white teeth in Buenos Aires? Cool, click here. The reason for that is quite simple. Facebook rewards high click-through rates with low cost per click. Now that's a general rule. It's not the law, and you will find outliers. You will find campaigns you put in where you go, right, hey, I'm getting a higher click-through rate than for my other campaign, and still I'm paying more. How come? It's not written in stone, but in general, the higher your click-through rate, the lower your cost per click. And that's why you want to do this. Now, you want to go in, do a quick test, not at the country level, that's already proven to be useless, but to go in and look at the gender, look at age, and then create specific ads, and possibly even specific ads around the regions where people are coming from, because it'll give you higher click-through rates. People feel spoken to. I mean, with it, especially gender and age. Okay, you can a weight loss offer that appeals to men, it will be very different from the one that appeals to women. I mean, look at Truth About Abs. They immediately try to split you into two groups. They say, hey, you're a man, click here. You're a woman, click here. So that is, in an essence, the big secret. Okay, the big thing we found out, through testing, a lot of testing. At some point, it's like, oh crap, we spent all this money, we got all these clicks, and no one bought anything until we figured out, oh right, we just had not a third world country, but not an ideal country in there, and as a result, we got lots of people who were interested, but not in a position to buy this thing because it's a, I don't know, $300 course or something. So that is that part. And God, I've been going on for 22 minutes here without a breath. So what I'm going to do is breathe in and wrap up, I guess, with something I can't show you at the moment, but I can talk about it. Basically what we're doing is a campaign aimed at the personal development market. Let's leave it as general as that. And what we're doing now in order to get them onto a webinar is basically use dark posts, which are posts that are not visible in your timeline. Okay, so it's basically, this is one way of split testing, again, different posts. The idea is, in your timeline, if you were to go in and say, I want to test the, whatever, one picture versus another picture, if you type in the same post twice, with thus just a different picture, that'll be really, really annoying to anyone who's actually going through your timeline and looking at your timeline. So with dark posts, which you can set up in the Power Editor, you then create two posts which are not visible, but you can refer to them in your advertising. So what you're doing then is you're basically split testing them, and as we've just seen here, split testing doesn't really work. So all you're doing is you're setting up two campaigns, one for post one for post two. You run them both, and you simply see what gets the better click-through rates. Okay, don't make the mistake of putting them into one campaign and trying to split test. That really doesn't give you reliable numbers. So you just run them for a day and see which one works better in the sense of getting whatever you want to achieve, click-through rates or shares or likes, and then you publish that one, for people to see and actually like on your fan page if they want to do that, or if you want to do it. For the time being, in order to keep things as simple as possible, what we're doing is we are creating a landing page or a number of landing pages which basically squeeze people for a webinar. They say, here's a free training on X. And we create those pages in leadpages.net just to make sure, it's easy peasy and we're not faffing around and wasting any time on setting up fancy pages just to find out that no one actually wants to see it. And we're putting that into a static HTML tab. Static HTML, if you're doing Facebook, there is an application, an app called static HTML, or it's something like that, but you search for static HTML, you create that app, which basically creates a tab and on your page, and you dump the lead pages page in there. That's it. So you're basically keeping people on Facebook in the Facebook ecosystem. They go from your ad, or your ad is basically your promoted post. They go to that squeeze page, and either they sign up or they don't. And then you drive them to a thank you page where ideally, and once again you can use lead pages for that, they've got a nice little template where you say, look, here's a video at top where you say thank you and say what's coming. Then you've got a step 2, which is go and like our page. go and you get that added benefit of the like. And finally, there's a call to action wherever you possibly monetize your traffic by saying, hey, you might also want to check out this thing here. And that's exactly what we're doing at the moment. So at the moment, we're taking all the learnings we've had from actually doing this and wasting a lot of money on Argentinian traffic, and we're now applying it in the personal development niche, again with all kinds of ups and downs, but overall the curve is pointing up. That's the key thing, right? So Wesley wants to know, are your landing pages all in English? How do you mash up the number of impressions on Facebook by the number of conversions in lead pages? All right, cool. Let's go back. Are all your landing pages all in English? Yes. I am targeting only English-speaking traffic at this point, simply because I will actually hold a webinar in English, and so I don't want later on. Let's put it this way: later on, once it's optimized, I totally understand that there might be people in Spanish-speaking countries who speak good enough English to understand and follow along with a webinar. But at the moment, I want to basically say, upfront, this is English and nothing else. However, having said that, actually, this is something that might excite you. We've got a new plugin coming out. We're doing a little bit more testing. It was coming out today, but it's coming out, I hope, fingers crossed, tomorrow, if not on the weekend, where we allow anti-pop-ups. It's basically, it uses a beautiful little Cialdini sales psychology trick to get people to actually tell us when they want the pop-up to come up. And that is using geo-targeting. So in there, what we're doing is we're saying, look, if someone is in Spain, at least you can say, hola, would you like to sign up? Or in Germany, hey, for your free sausages and sauerkraut, click here, that kind of thing. So what you might want to do, rather than just say English, keep it in English because the content is English, but it's a good idea, Wesley, that we might say, look, if we target Spain, for example, because we think there are enough English speakers in Spain, they all sit on the Costa Brava and have nothing else to do than watch my webinars. Well, you might still have a reference to Spain in my landing page. So it's a good point there. The second one is, how do you mash up the number of impressions on Facebook to the number of conversions in lead pages? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. The impressions I get shown here. Actually, I don't. Not on this page. On the other advertising report, where it shows me. Well, okay. Bigger picture. This is something that so annoys me. Everyone goes, well, oh, look, I've got this great landing page and converts at 75% or 78% or 33%, and everyone goes, whoa, hail the landing pages master. At the end of the day, it does not matter how many people sign up. At the end of the day, what matters is what is the lifetime value of a customer and how many customers do you get, or the earnings per click. That's basically it. So if I'm getting, on Facebook, I'm getting 100 clicks and it costs me $10, let's make it easy, 10 cents per click, which you can totally get. I mean, you saw it on the previous screen somewhere. What was it? Was it this one here? You've got 11-cent clicks, 10-cent clicks, and this is straight to an external link. Right? There's no magic here. That was a bit more expensive, 24, 9 cents, 11 cents. So on average, I reckon it's about 12 cents or so. So say 100 clicks, and for ease of calculating it, I paid $10 for it. And if, say, out of those 100, 1% buy, so one person buys the course, and I get paid $147 commission, that's a pretty good return on investment. In this particular case, the one I'm reporting here, it really doesn't matter. Now, of course, you then have people on your list, and over time you monetize them and all that good stuff. But if you have a rough idea what your lifetime value is, and what each click is worth, that is far more important than Once you've got that, then yes, then you can start worrying about getting your conversions up, or then you should. But this general chasing of the higher my click-through rate, the better, is complete nonsense. To maybe illustrate this, I could set up a website, or a landing page where I say, oh, by the way, when you sign up, I'll hook you up with free beer and sausages and sauerkraut. I mean, this would work beautifully here in Germany for life. And you'd have tons and tons of people sign up. But at the end of the day, what are they worth? Not very much, okay? So the key thing is, with your landing pages, with the whole, like, how do I worry about impressions on Facebook or number of conversions on my lead pages? It's the number of conversions on the lead pages don't matter if I'm not entirely sure, not 100% sure that I'm talking to precisely the right target audience, namely the ones who spend lots of money with me. I mean, what you see here is general demographics like country, age, male and female. Of course, in my targeting here, I'm now using precise interest. Actually, this is a really bad example, okay? Don't even look at this here. We've got other campaigns where we do totally different things. We target very, very precise interests. By the way, this is early testing, okay? So here already we know this is a bad thing to do. When you do precise interest and you target one, maybe two, and you very quickly go, right, this works, this doesn't work, and therefore I need to refine and remove a certain precise interest or add certain other ones. So what percentage of your time do you focus on affiliate sales versus your own products? What do you choose one way over the other? I wouldn't even say what percentage of my time. I personally, and this is a very personal thing. Okay, let's step back. What is your goal, Wesley? Is your goal to make as much money as possible? Or is your goal to develop your own brand? Or develop a tribe, invest in a tribe and a following? Those are things you need to weigh up, because the sad truth is, you could go into the make money niche, make money online, make money offline, whatever, the empower networks of this world, and with the right message for that market. And it's not very hard to do. Basically, you hype it up as much as you can, and people will buy, okay? And then they, after a while, usually a short while, they lose interest and move on. But because there are so many people in the shiny object, make money no matter how world, you can make a ton of money. And you just need to look at the Warrior Forum, for example. It's full of that audience, and it's also full of people who sell snake oil. So if your question is how much money, what's the best way for making money as quickly as possible, I would say, use your own products purely to build a list. And the appeal there is that basically you create that product to give away as much as you can in terms of affiliate commissions to get JVs excited. They send you traffic, and you then ruthlessly exploit that and basically burn through that list. That's one model, and that's what a lot of people do on the Warrior Forum. I personally can't get myself to do it. When I know that someone wants something but they really don't need it, or when I know they need something but they don't want it, it's a bit of a conflict for me. I personally can't get myself to say, look, I'm selling you shit because you want it. So your question, what's best? There is no best. It depends on your desired outcome. Can't as well. I've always had that problem as well. Yes. And now, okay, it's not a problem. One of the big insights that took me far too long to realize is that there is always there's a fundamental concept of the traffic to offer match. Right? If you've got a good offer for a market that really wants your offer, and the emphasis is on want. If they don't want it, or if you have to educate them that they want it, it's already a losing proposition. But there's always a market that wants certain stuff. So the make money crowd, they want shiny objects. And you'd be a fool, and I was that fool for far too long, to try to sell them solid business fundamentals. Just doesn't fly in that or with that audience. It's an uphill struggle. That is one of the reasons why I'm getting out of the anything to do with internet marketing. So I'm basically doing a massive rebranding exercise where I say, I can help you with you using the internet as a marketing channel for selling and marketing something that is of high value. I'm not doing internet marketing. I don't even consider myself an internet marketer. I happen to use the internet. For example, today we are on a webinar. We're talking online, okay? That is the internet. So I'm using that as, in a way, marketing. I'm building my brand here. So anyone who listens to this call and thinks, okay, I like that approach of selling high value stuff, cool. That's now, I'm basically doing marketing for my own thing. But anyone who says, no, I have no idea what I want, I just want to make money and I don't care how, and I just want to push a button, they'll go, I don't really like Veit stuff. That sounds like too much hard work. Look at all this testing he's doing. I know, I just want to push a button. And they'll automatically go away. And that's fine, okay? That's cool. So to go back to the question, I can't as well, and it's a problem. It's actually not a problem. You just need to realize that you are talking to the wrong audience, and you need to change that audience, because there's always an audience for what you've got. So, Art says, so glad that you've seen the light. Yeah, the IM crowd is more like a cesspool. Well, it's sad because there are a lot of people in there who want to, like, if you don't know, one of my first big products in the IM space was bare knuckle productivity, which was all aimed at how to be productive, how to overcome procrastination, how to get focused, all that kind of stuff. And in my previous life, when I was depressed in a corporate career, I really depressed, proper depression. First time in my life. I'm a very positive person otherwise, but that was like too much. I just couldn't deal with all the rules and regulations and the lack of progress. I'd gone into personal development, and that's where this whole thing came from. How do you motivate yourself? How do you get focused? All that kind of thing. And so when I hear statements by people like, for example, Dan Kennedy, who say, well, you clearly don't have the desire to make it. That is total and utter BS. So it kind of saddens me that a lot of people in IM who jump from shiny thing to shiny thing, because I know they want to make change. They really want to have a better life, whether it's for themselves or for loved ones, buy their kids or grandkids something. So it's complete nonsense that they don't have it. But unfortunately, this jumping from thing to thing is it's almost like an addiction, and it's very difficult to break out of addictions like this here. So, a marketer using the internet as a tool, medium, strategy as part of my toolbox of solutions. Yes, exactly. So, am I moving? Andy wants to know, if you're moving away from bizop, is it because you don't like it, or because there isn't money in it? No, because I don't like it. Look, when I say I'm moving away from bizop, I hope, I sincerely hope that my messages I've been sending out have not been considered bizop. Right? My WSOs, I generally do productivity tools. When I promote someone else's stuff, I really make sure that it's not a bizop. Hey, you click this button and you make $1 zillion. So I've always tried. I may have fouled up, but I've always tried not to portray myself as a bizopper. Hey, join my program and it's an awesome opportunity. Always been along the lines, here's some solid fundamentals, here's some cool tools we've developed, that kind of stuff. So am I moving away from solid fundamentals? No, not at all. The one thing I'm moving away from is, for example, look at the Warrior Forum. Most people know the Warrior Forum, so I'm using that as an example. If you want to have those crazy 6-7 figure, well, it's more like high 6-figure paydays, a lot of the big guys, if you want to call them that, on the Warrior Forum are having, well, they do it by what I said earlier. They create products, they release them, they give away 100% on the front end, and then they make money on the back end. And the only way they get that massive affiliate support is by basically then pushing other people's crap. And because there is such hunger for crap, that works. And I've never this goes back to like, being stupid or in the wrong market. I've never wanted to like sell out and say I'm pushing everybody else's crap just so they support me on my launches. And that's why I'm moving out of the warrior form crowd, where I'm basically reliant on, or where it's a necessity almost to push other people's rubbish in order to get a return promotion. So, had internet problem, just got on. Will you provide recording? If you ask nicely, maybe. No, you're definitely not sending bizop stuff. I was curious as to why. Yes, that's the why. Okay. Look forward to survey tool and look forward to its growth. No, I love the survey tool. It's a wonderful way to segment your list. Wesley, yes, absolutely. And we're actually working on it. Okay, Raul had a couple of other projects to finish, but we are back on the survey tool. There are actually some very good products at WSOs. Oops. The problem is you have to evaluate product as a business owner, not just buying for pleasure. Well, Rhonda, exactly. And that is why, well, okay, once again, if you look at the word, and this is basically a useful insight for any market you go into. The hot buttons in the warrior form crowd, on average, is basically push a button and make money. Okay, that is the main hot button, and that's why a lot of copy, even for good products, simply uses it, because they know, well, if I push that button, I'll make a lot more sales. And that's, you're completely right. You have to evaluate the product as a biz owner, not buying for pleasure. But the pleasure is, it's immediately there because the copy, when it's written by someone who knows what they're doing, is, it appeals to the pleasure zones, if you like. Pat says that's why I hardly purchase any WSOs now. Oh, go on, buy mine. It's coming up. It's fun. It's good. Actually, the next one that's coming up, hopefully tomorrow and this week, is WSOs. We're a small group here. We can talk frankly. There is some spinner tool coming out today, and it's a classic example where I could promote this to my list and offer a giant bonus and make an easy 5 figures. Seriously, it's going to be that big. But I can't. I just can't get myself to send that thing out and say, look, here, spinning is good for you. It's like, spinning is not good for you. It's absolutely rubbish. It's the last thing you want to do. So, but you look at your inboxes today. I think it's today. Some Simon Greenhalgh's spin something. Yeah. Okay, cool. Anyway, back to I hardly purchase any WSOs. Yes. What's my view on Dan Kennedy's school of thought? Give them what they want, and how do you resolve this in your marketing? Yes. This is actually really interesting. The one thing I can say, absolutely with absolute certainty, sincerity, is that I've basically been saying the same thing for, well, how long have I been doing this now? 8 years. Okay, I've basically not really changed my mind. Okay, little things like, okay, in the good old days, exact match domains work. Now they don't work. That's fine. You change. You go with the times. But when it comes to fundamentals, I've not changed. I mean, sometimes it's almost frightening when I look at old products I've created, or really old blog posts, and I'm going, holy smokes, I said exactly the same thing back then. Of course, over time my thinking evolves and I've got new insights and all that kind of stuff, but the fundamentals are still there. That's why I quite resonated with a blog post, Facebook post Kevin Nations put out this morning. He said, look, 8 years ago I was telling everyone, I'll show you how to do high ticket thingies. And then, a few years later, I was showing people how to do these high-ticket thingies, and look, today I'm still doing it. So it's cool. So anyway, back to Dan Kennedy. Give them what they want. When I first saw that, I thought, brilliant. When right in the beginning, started marketing, or once again, this is very important, not as an internet marketer, but actually marketing to sell stuff. For example, we sold, or we sell our seminar or workshop seats to our sales seminars through various means. I mean, it's primarily actually networking and direct sales, phoning up, selling sales materials, but also a bit of internet marketing. So anyway, when I got started, I thought, brilliant, that's exactly, it totally makes sense. Give people what they want. And then after a while, I kind of went, hang on, this is shit. Because those were my thoughts, not my words. Okay, I didn't say that now on this webinar, obviously. Those were my thoughts. They were hidden in my head. I used the S word, in my head. Give them what I want is basically abused by a lot of people, because when you look at the statement, give people what they want, it goes along with the statement, it is your your duty to give people what you know is going to help them. So that's the want and the need. So a lot of people, especially marketers, then go, aha, Dan Kennedy and Jay Abraham said I need to give people what they want, and then make it my duty, my mission in life, to sell them what I know is ultimately going to help them. And there's two sides of this here. Is like, if someone wants crack cocaine, am I going to give it to them? Well, personally, I can't get myself to do it. Right. On the other hand, when you know it can help them is basically used as an excuse by many marketers to push crap on people. They're saying, look, it clearly worked here, so there you go. Now, if they don't take action, it's their fault. Incidentally, and we're kind of coming up to an hour, so I'll leave you, and I'll go through more comments here, but a little side thought there. When you look at any step-by-step plan out there, first of all, we all want step-by-step plans. Why? Because a lot of people don't have the background, and step-by-step plans give us security. And I'm exactly like that. When I don't know how to do something, I love to have a step-by-step plan. It's like, show me how this works. And for example, when I learned to cook, I needed a recipe. It's like, okay, first do this, and this, and this, and this. And these days, because I love cooking, my wife, she comes in and goes, well, how do you do pancakes? I go, well, you use flour, eggs, milk. Yeah, but how much? Until it feels right. It's like, oh, no, that's not very useful. And exactly the same thing applies to step-by-step plans. We kind of want them to learn something. The problem with step-by-step plans is that by their very nature, namely being a condensed version of reality, an abstract version of reality, they don't really make sense to anyone who really needs to figure out each of those steps. So if I tell you, now crack open an egg, well, how do I do that? Now, you may have cracked open an egg, and I have cracked open an egg, but my 6-year-old daughter, when we now make pancakes together and she cracks open an egg, it's a huge mess. I could give her the instructions, hey, this is how you make pancakes, and it would be an enormous mess in the kitchen, but not a pancake. And the same thing applies to step-by-step plans. So why am I saying this? Because when you see sales letters, and this is, by the way, something, once again, you can use in your own marketing. When you've got a success story, so someone is selling their step-by-step plan to making pancakes, and there's a success story of Art. Hey, Art got my course on making pancakes, and look at these beauties he created. Now, turns out Art was ready. Art already knew how to crack open an egg. He already knew how to fold, not whip, but fold the flour into the liquid so you don't get all the baking powder wet, all that kind of stuff. He knew how to do those things. So this is basically the good old saying, when the student is ready, the master will appear. All right. When the student already knows how to crack open the egg, when the student knows how to fold batter instead of beating it, when the student knows how to cook, without giving a precise temperature for the pan, and then they're given that step-by-step plan, then they're ready, and then they can implement and get huge successes. And that's why most success stories, are irrelevant, because most people who buy your step-by-step plan don't know how to crack open the eggs. Anyway, that's a little aside. So let me go back to, okay, so the Dan Kennedy school of thought, give them what they want. If they want crack cocaine, I'm not going to give it to them, but as we kind of discussed throughout this whole thing is, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. And then you have to ask yourself, well, how much money do I want to leave on the table? Or do I really want to sleep better at night and go to a different market? And that's kind of what I'm doing. Like, okay, I'm going into different market where I don't have to peddle crack cocaine or SEO courses, all that kind of stuff. As a matter of fact, your email is one of about 3 I open and read. Cool, thank you. Spinning is the worst thing, and that is why I'm not buying it, no matter how magic it is. Well, I'll tell you what, if that thing makes me a constant stream of double espressos, I might just get it. Old J, a master crapper. Having integrity can be a costly trait, but in the long run, you can still look at yourself in the mirror. Exactly. Well, there is more than looking in the mirror. I've got 4 children, right? The oldest one is 10, the youngest one is 6. And at the moment, they don't quite grasp what I'm doing here. But when they're old enough to ask, Fight, what is it, or Puppy, Daddy, what is it you're actually doing? I want to be able to look them in the eye and say, this is what I'm doing. And look, here are all the happy people I've helped. As opposed to, well, son, oh, look, over there, football. Anyway, there you go. So, any final questions as we come up to the end of this? So what we've done today is Facebook. We have done what we're doing at the moment. So Facebook, big takeaway is it's faulty, it's buggy, it's a pain in the butt, but it does work, so we kind of do it. First thing is split testing absolutely sucks, as you can see on the screen here, which you've been staring at for half an hour now. Each campaign typically has one winner and then a couple, not even a handful, half a handful of like close seconds and then zeros. Therefore, you need to, put them into separate campaigns. That's the only way to get reliable numbers. Next one is when you look at different countries, you are basically stuffed because Facebook is going to give you the traffic from wherever they make the most profit. But you can use this to split it into gender, age, possibly region, and use targeted ads. What we're doing right at the moment is keeping people within the Facebook ecosystem, if you like, and we are driving them to a lead pages squeeze page for a webinar, and from there into our high-end coaching program. Always great info. As requested previously, would love a full session on Survey Snatcher, please. Oh, God, I haven't done a full session on Survey Snatcher. I tell you what, send me an email, send me a reminder, and what I'll do is I'll go through it with Raoul, because we're adding a ton of new features, so it'll make sense to hang on a little bit longer, and then we do a full session with all the new features in it. Alrighty, Sean, vaguely related. I'm still waiting for inclusion in your Facebook group. Right. I tell you what, the Facebook group, I guess you are referring to love over my shoulder. How to say this? Okay. In the whole group, there is a handful at most of people who are actually contributing on a regular basis, which once again, and this is once again a nice learning for everyone you can use anywhere in your marketing. People don't take your information seriously when it's free. It's only when it's paid for. And I know this from personal experience. How many free reports do I have on my hard drive? Far too many. How many unread free reports do I have on my hard drive? Far too many. Am I attending Lisa Sasovich's training for which I paid today? Absolutely I will, because I paid good money for it. And that's why Loves is kind of dying a slow and hopefully not too painful death. I guess, and this is where I should do a little self-flagellation. I should just go in and say, look, this is the deal, and not enough interest because it's free, and therefore I'm closing it. Thank you very much. Wesley, what is the quickest way to create all those campaigns? What is your testing budget where you will draw the line and shut it down? Shut it down. The quickest way is in Power Editor, and the super quickest one is to go bulk import. Okay, what you do is you go and create a campaign and create one ad, and then you export it. Here, see this button? Okay, so you go in here and you export this. Well, I think this exports all of the ones in here, but you can just set up a new campaign, create one ad, and export it. And that way you see all the fields that need to be populated in an Excel spreadsheet, or it's a CSV file. And then all you need to do is basically copy paste in that Excel spreadsheet. It's super fast. You can set this thing up in less than 5 minutes. And then you do bulk import, which is basically uploading the spreadsheet, upload, and you're done. It's super, super fast. Testing budget, when do I draw the line and shut it down? Well, this goes back to what we said earlier, the earnings per click. If I've got a campaign, for example, promoting ARM here, this one didn't work because we had the targeting completely off, unwittingly, but there you go. So I should probably restart it, except now I know I can't target their links directly, and therefore we haven't done that yet. But the payout on this is 50% of whatever it is, $300, I believe. So it's $150. So basically, if I spend $100 to get one buyer, I'm still making $50. And if this thing runs on autopilot, I'm very happy to pay. Oh, audio has been lost. Can you hear me?
And at this point, the internet went down. Yippee! God, having so much fun with my internet provider. They're putting in a VDSL cable, whatever, high-powered fiber optic thing because the old line is so crappy. It's nobody's fault. It's just the line is old, and until we've got that new line in. Unfortunately, occasionally this happens, and of course, well, in a way it was lucky. It was the end of the webinar, so everything was okay. So I'm going to leave you with another finding around Power Editor. This is something we've been struggling with for a long time, namely, when you create a campaign and you put your ads in, and you're going to add the little images in your ads, and then you duplicate your campaign because you want to test some different copy, because, Luke Firewalker, go away. Because you want to test a different offer, whatever you want to test. Then sometimes, and this is one of those things that is really annoying because Power Editor is quite inconsistent in that sense, so it's not easy to replicate, and therefore I'm not even going to attempt to replicate it here. I'm just going to tell you what you need to look out for and how you can fix it. So when you go in, you've got a campaign, you've got your ads inside, you go to campaigns, you duplicate your campaign. Now you've got a copy of the entire campaign, including all the ads, and then typically what you do is you go to the new campaign and you basically change your headlines or your URL or your text or your image or whatever you want to do. Now, if you just wanted to change text or your target audience, but you leave the image untouched, quite often, but unfortunately not always, what happens is when you then upload your new campaign to Facebook, it comes back with this bizarre error. It says something like hashtag, hash something missing, this image is not associated to your account. And really what's happening is it's telling you that down here there is no image. But it's not telling you, it's just giving this bizarre error message, something hash not associated with account. And you look down here and you go, well, there is an image, isn't there? And that is the bug inside Power Editor. It shows you the image which it allegedly copied from the other campaign, but it didn't. It just shows it, but it's not actually there, or at least, the thing thinks it's not there. So what you need to do is when you see the image, but you're getting this bizarre error, you need to go through all your ads in here and just basically re-upload it. So you go, click choose image, there's my image, click, yes, okay, and now it's in there. Totally bizarre. It is what it is. Now you know how to deal with it. Thank you very much. And this is not a sort of a rare occurrence. It happens all the time, but unfortunately not all the time. It happens very often, but not all the time. And I see many Facebook groups and many Skype groups who go, I can't figure out what this is. This is what it is. Okay, it's a bug in Power Editor. Alrighty, so that kind of wraps up our coaching call on, which was supposed to be all about Facebook. But as you saw, we went wide and deep in all kinds of areas, including what are good markets? What is a good traffic to offer match? Why do step-by-step plans work? Why do they not work? What should you do? What is the right way for building a list and monetizing that list? All these kind of things. And that is typically what we do in our inner circle. So what I'd like to do is invite you to explore with me if you are a good fit for our inner circle. Now, as you can probably gather from everything we talked about on this call, there are those who are a good fit and those who are not a good fit. You're not a good fit if you are into push button magic. And although it's not meant to be negative at all, we all love the shortcuts, and we talked about this today. However, there is the mentality where you go, and I give you a live example. I've had someone, we went through the interview process and the person said, or I asked the person, why do you want to work with me? What can I bring to the table what is it do you expect from our relationship? And he said, well, I want you to make me do stuff. And that is wrong. Okay, that's not going to work. If you don't have it inside you to actually go and do stuff, it's never going to happen. Then that is basically looking for a magic cure. That is a rescue fantasy. Oh, nothing works, and now I'm getting a coach, and everything's going to be fine. No. You kind of need to be almost there. You need to be at a point where you go, I kind of have the pieces in place, I just don't know in what order to do them. Or maybe I need a different perspective. The kind of stuff we were talking about today on this particular call. So if you're the kind of person who kind of has the pieces in place and has vision where you want to go to, and that vision is not, hey, I want to make money no matter how. That vision is, I want to get to a place where I provide value to such an extent that people think they're getting a complete bargain when they're getting it from me. Alrighty? So Walter said it the other day, I want to be out there and be selling my $47 ebook and have people say, oh my goodness, I basically it's a complete steal to get it at 47 because they got so much value out of it. That is my target audience, people who want to do that. So if you're the kind of person who says, yes, I really know where I want to go and what I want to do, or have a broad market, I just don't know how to get into it, or I have all the different pieces but it's not quite working, I'm not getting the sign-ups, or I'm not getting the conversions, that is the kind of people where I can truly help. And I hope you can start to see how this all fits together with everything we talked about today. It's something I'm passionate about, but also it's basically a win-win. If I can provide you with a 10 times ROI, why would you not do it? Whereas someone who goes, I don't know what I want to do, I'm totally overwhelmed, I just want to click a button and make, get page 1 rankings and make money on autopilot, it's very, very difficult, well, it's virtually impossible to guarantee a positive ROI. So, if you are interested in doing some one-on-one work with me, I've got a question for you. Namely, what would it take for you to be convinced 100% that this is the right thing? It's just something to think about, okay? And then, once you've got that question in mind, do reach out to me. And what I'm going to do is put a link down below, okay? So there is a short questionnaire, and it's not the usual, hey, do you want to make 6 figures or 7 figures? I've seen those surveys myself, and they're complete rubbish. The idea is to get your greed glands glowing and flowing. Yay, I can make 7 figures. No, that's not the idea. There's a short questionnaire with a couple of questions to make sure that we are a good fit. Why? Because we actually take the process of figuring out if we're a good fit quite seriously. So we spend quite a bit of time on this. Typically it's an hour up to an hour and a half. So I don't want to spend endless time with lots and lots of people. So the reality is we can do a handful at most of these interviews per week. And if you are not in there, if you don't apply for a place, it's gonna take quite a while. So what I encourage you to do is basically think about that question. What would it take for you to be 100% convinced that this is the right thing to do? And then once you've got that question in mind, go to the link down below and basically reach out to me and we'll set up something. And if I believe, based on your answers, it's not a good fit, I'll tell you so. And I may have a recommendation of where else you might go to get the necessary, for example, beginner's training in place. So if you're a complete beginner, probably not a good idea to do high-end coaching. That's a rescue fantasy, okay? You need to get little bits, you need to be able to crack open the egg. And once you are able to do that, then, let's go and talk. All right, so check out the link down below with that question in mind, or the answer to that question. And I hope to speak to you soon. Alrighty, cheers.